Okay, go ahead. Good morning from Tucson RV Solar. Here we are on a new rig, and you can tell I've already done a few things here. So I'm gonna try to work my way up forward. We are on a Winnebago. Already replaced both the air conditioners. We're gonna finish wiring those in today, and we have added 8 250 watt panels, so 2,000 watts going into this 48 volt system. You can see a dual MultiPlus installation. But now we're up on here at 5 o'clock in the morning because it's 110 degrees all day. So we're getting some stuff done. So we got the solar panels placed and actually just put a hole in the roof for the mounting location, and we'll show you what that looks like inside. All right, here's the Winnebago sightseer that we're working on. Tell we've already been super busy. You already saw what it looked like up on the roof, but other couple of things that we've done already, gone through or removed the chassis or the house batteries that were in there, and also removed the inverter that was on the other side. Got a couple of holes. We got one hole there, one hole in the back bedroom. These are for our new air conditioner. These are ducted systems. So we're waiting to do a function test before I build the rest of the duct and make it all go away. In the middle part, this is where we're actually going to put our touchscreen. That'll replace the old inverter hole that's there in the bottom. We also had the thermostat hole there. That actually has to stay so that he can turn his furnace on and off, because the new air conditioner remote won't control his furnace. Same for back here, thermostat right there. But this one, we're just gonna delete entirely and put the new thermostat screen that comes with the Gree right there. Because you can still turn his furnace on and off right here. But he'll have his front Gree, furnace, touchscreen, all wiring through there. Also had pretty good access to the roof, so you can see our solar cables here ran up through the roof, super easy punch through, and got our HDMI and USB cables down there that are going to go to this touchscreen right here. Already pulled them, came out the bottom, went around the other side. All right, so here we are on the other side. Standard problem set, you know, where is the transfer switch? And we found it in the wet bay, all the way over to the right. Got our shore power cord rolled up in there. We're actually gonna add a reel in here as well. We're gonna try to get it in here if I can get enough structural integrity. If not, can't go there, so it'll probably have to come down here, which means we'll need to extend that shore power line. No big deal there. But here's our space. This is what we were given to do everything with. All right, so just kind of visualizing up front, how are we gonna take this unique space and make it into the full Victron overview. So up front, we're thinking the 3 batteries will go right here. If he decides to add a 4th later, he can actually push one over and add one more there, and it'll all fit. They're 5 inches tall, so that'll take him up to this height. Dual inverters there on their back, going that way. Obviously, this is enclosed, so we're gonna need to add some ventilation. And the way that we're going to be installing this, we're probably going to need to actually add the ventilation first. So we can punch a hole in the back side of that and vent down below and out of the coach. And then on this side somewhere, probably in here, bringing in air so that the inverters can grab that air and cool it. On its back will be our link system over here. And then we'll have our 48 to 12 DC to DC charger here and have our MPPT here. Probably delete this box and then just kind of build all this from the inside out. That's our initial thought right now. So now we're gonna attack it. Let's get at it. So here we are on morning 3. So we got all of our cables ran into the compartment right here. We already covered that guy. We're gonna sheath these two and then we'll foam that at the end just to make sure there's no movement, nothing cuts. We got our controller, which is capable of 2,000 watts because this is a 48 volt install. And then we've got our Orion 48 down to 12 at 30 amps. And then we'll trial that, make sure we can still run the Jackson slides. If it doesn't, we have a battery ready to go on the 12 volt side that'll take care of that. Serbo GX is gonna be right there. Ease of access is the name of the game, right? So we gotta make sure that we can cut off solar if we need it. Ease of getting to the Serbo, especially if they have to reset it. All the batteries are gonna be right here. Here's our breakers. So we got our inverter in, inverter out, clearly labeled so that we can turn these on and off if needed to do any work. And then this entire board would come up and out if they unscrewed it. And then both of our inverters are going to be side by side. First thing that we worry about with an installation like this is heat. I talked about it a little bit, but you can see we got the holes cut right there. This is going to be our air intake. So that'll be bringing in air on it with a 48 volt fan, which moves a lot of air. That way air is shooting right across through here. It'll hit the intakes for these two inverters, which will then expel the heat out that way. And then that's our air exhalation. We're just waiting on our two fans to show up and then we can wire them in. And we're going to be wiring those again through the Serbo using the temperature probe, which will take care of everything. So still a lot of work left to do. Battery is going to end up right here. So again, can turn those on and off super easy. They'll go into our links, which will be up here to distribute out the power as needed throughout the rest. So a lot of work left to do, but coming along nicely. Just finishing everything up on this guy. Made a couple of final modifications. Got everything connected inside there into the transfer switch and out of the transfer switch. And then added this easy reel so he can reel his shore power cord up a whole lot easier on him. And then got our final on the system. You can see our dual inverters in the background. Power coming out of our 3 48 volt, or actually 51.2 volt server rack batteries. Paralleled at the Serbo so that we can also, paralleled at the Lynx distributor, power in. And then we've got the smart shunt right there as well. It's good for 500 amps, so on a 48 volt system we had plenty of capacity there. And then coming out of the Lynx, we got both of our inverters. We got our solar controller, which is capable of 2,000 watts at 48 volts. And then our DC to DC charger running over to the other side. All that's going through the Serbo GX, so you can see everything up on his touchscreen. Control his solar through his disconnect right here. But the awesome thing is these batteries and the capacity that they bring. They also have their own individual breakers, so protecting the wire that goes through there, and on-off switch, and then indications as to their state of charge individually. And you can also connect to them to see each battery individual status and all the way down to the cell. We're worried about a lot of heat here, so we got an intake fan over on the right hand side blowing air across the intakes for each of the inverter. So hopefully that'll keep that cool down a little bit better. And then as air swirls around in the back, you can be taken out by that exhaust fan that you see in the back. And since we're worried about heat, one thing that we did worry about was, are we going to be able to run the slides and the jacks and start the generator off of a single 30 amp converter? And the question, or the answer is no, we're not. So rather than actually putting more of those in parallel and adding to the heat problem, back over on this side where we actually took the lead acid batteries out, we added a single 12 volt lithium battery. So coming from under there, we've got connected into the 12 volt system from this battery. We've got the DC to DC charger running across the top of the battery to keep it in float status. But also, when the inverters are on, have a smart charger that's actually keeping this thing topped off at 100%. So now no problems whatsoever running the jacks, running the slides, starting the generator. So he's definitely ready to go. And this Alpha 1 Pro battery from Rich Solar is Bluetooth enabled, so we can see the state of charge on it just by looking at our phone. Don't have to run it through the rest of the system. And then it also is self-heating, so if he encounters any type of cold or whatever, then he's fully taken care of there. And then on the rest of the coach, you can see air conditioner, new one up there. Second new air conditioner in the back. That red light is just the command board blinking. And then we got the new controllers for each one of the air conditioners. And you can hear how super quiet they are when they start up. And this is the ducted version. The new Gree EcoCool also makes a non-ducted version. And then we left this control in place to be able to turn his furnace on. And then all this running through the Serbo GX. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, so not a lot of solar, getting 50 watts currently. But you can see the battery capacity, and then on the right, as we scroll over, you can actually see 72 degrees out there, so that's why the fans aren't on right now. But definitely plenty of ways to control that via the relay and run all the power. So with that, another awesome installation complete and another happy customer.